Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so sorry I haven't been able to post for a little while because my son has been down with chickenpox, but it's all better now. So I'm about to show you how to do this beautiful glowy summery look and how to shine like a goddess this year at affordable price, good timing, and basically shining. So please keep watching, and without further ado, I'm going to show you how this is done. Okay, so I've already applied my Bosch Velvet Primer all over my face, and I'm just going to start with my eyes. So the first thing I'm going to be using is the Healthy Mix by Bournjor concealer. This one is in a shade medium 52, and I'm just going to apply that all over my eyelids. Now I'm going to be taking my Revolution palette, which is the Flawless No. 4. I do use this quite often, I'm sorry, but it is like one of the best ones that I've tried from Revolution. It's quite messy, but oh well. This one here, this is the shade that I'm going to be using, which is the quite nude shade. And I'm just going to be taking my small eye shading brush, and I'm just going to be setting my eyelid all over. I'm going to go ahead and use the gold shade from the same palette. And this is an absolutely beautiful golden shade. It's like not too dark and not too light, so it's perfect for this. And I'm just going to place that all over my eyelid, slightly higher where my crease is. Now that I've finished with the golden shade, I'm going to be applying shimmery white shade on the same palette. This is this one here in the corner. And I'm just going to be applying that in the inner corners of my eyes, just to brighten it up a little bit. While you're doing this part, try and blend it in a little bit with the gold so it doesn't look too parted from each other, so it looks nice and blended. Next, I'm going to be using a lightly brown matte shade from the same palette. Applying that only on the corners of my eyes, just dabbing it into the corner of my eye. I do not know what it is, but every time I do a video, my voice gets all cranky and dry. So as you dab that in, you just want to build up on the color slowly, and then whatever your desired look, how intense you want it to be, that's where you stop. And make sure that you also blend the harsh edge between the gold and the brown, so it looks like it's all together. No separate lines. I just want it to be very natural looking. I don't want it to be too much out of shape around the eye. So now that I've finished my eye shading, I'm just going to go ahead and do my eyebrows. I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I've done my eyebrows and I used a little bit of that same white shimmery shadow under my eyebrows just to highlight a little bit, I also applied a little bit of my favorite foundation, which is the Bournjor 123 Perfect. And I absolutely love this. This is like so lightweight and so beautiful when it's on, easily blendable, and yes, buildable, texture is amazing. I love everything from Bournjor. Literally, that's my favorite products to use. I'm going to go ahead now and use my L'Oreal True Match Perfect Ivory Beige concealer, and I'm just going to be applying that under my eyes. Just to brighten up this area. And I'm also going to be using it along my nose and a little bit on the sides, a little bit along my chin, just above my lip. And I'm just gonna dab that gently in. Just to give it a light brightness. I'm just going to apply a little bit along here as well. Now that that's done, I'm going to go in with my HD NYX Banana Powder, finishing powder, and I'm just going to be using a Primark brush. This is actually pretty cool, it's double-ended, and I'm gonna use this side, and I'm just going to dab it into the powder and then tap off the excess from the brush. And then I'm just gonna quickly apply under my eyes first, because that's where it tends to crease way before it's time. So I'm just gonna lightly dab it under. I usually do this bit first, so make sure you dab it in so that there's no lines before you put the powder on. Otherwise the creases will show for the powder. And then you just put it on. I find that this brush sets my eyes really well. There are different variations of these. You can find a smaller brush like this, but they are the best to set the under eye. For me, is a good brush, because usually when I sweep across it with my other brush, it tends to make it look very dry and baggy and weird. I do not know why, but it's always much more settled when it's like with the brush. It somehow just pats it on and it stays. And it's the same on my forehead. It tends to crease quite a bit there unless I take my brush and quickly go over it with the powder. With the rest of my face, I'll just go in with my angular brush. I usually use that, and then tap off the excess and just go across my face and just dab all over. So it tends to crease quite a bit around my nose, under my eyes, and on my forehead. So I just try to dab it in as soon as I can. Just go along my neck as well, just to make sure everything is nice and even. Next, I'm going to be using one of my other favorite products, and this one is the Bournjor Maxi Delight in the shade Olive Tan Skin, which is me, obviously, I'm olive. And look at the shade of this thing, I'm so obsessed. It's got light shimmers and it's all bronzy. And it smells so good, like refreshed. I'm just gonna go ahead with my Real Techniques extra large brush. This one is called Point XL. Sweeping it across very gently and then tapping off the excess as much as possible. With this, you gotta be careful because it could change the color of your face. Avoid putting it on quite a lot and harshly, and don't pick up a lot of product, because that product will go on your face and it will look very mismatched compared to the rest of your skin. Very lightly dab. As you can see, it's already adding color very quickly, so you just want to like go over it very fast, because you want to look bronzy, but you don't want to look like, you know, you just had a fake tan gone wrong. Next, I will be using the 578 Stone palette by Sleek, and I'll just be using my bluey shade from there and just gonna apply it underneath my eye. I like this shadow because at least you can slowly build up on the color that you want instead of coming off very harsh line. I'm just going to be applying a little bit of that same white shadow and apply a little bit more in the corners of my eyes, because while I was doing the foundation it sort of faded. Just going to apply a little bit of my mascara, which is the Thick and Fast Super Volume Mascara by Soap&Glory. And I'm just going to be applying that on the top and bottom lash. Now I'm going to be using my white pencil by Too True, the inside of my eye. I would say this is like the hardest thing to do when I get to do some liner along my waterline. I just feel like somebody's digging into my eyes. My eyes get so watery. One is the Hoola Benefit bronzer, and I'm just going to be bronzing and contouring. So it's going to be very gentle. I absolutely love this. I'm obsessed. I use it in like almost every of my videos. It's so beautiful. It's the right pigmentation of the brown, and it just does the job so beautifully. So I just like to bronze this skin a little bit more where I need to, like a contour. Just along my cheeks, along my forehead, along my nose, and along my jawline. And just blend it nicely. Nothing too heavy. This is just to give a little bit of a bronzy color. I've actually got so burned, like I think it was a couple of weeks ago. It was like 16 degrees. I didn't get burned when it was like 25 degrees. I got burned when it was 16 degrees, and that was weird. It wasn't even that hot, but for some reason my forehead and my arms got burned, and I was suffering of pain by the time I got home. And it was a nightmare because actually my skin has started peeling off. And especially along my forehead, wearing any sort of makeup was like impossible. It was a nightmare because it was just so dry, and no matter what I did, it was there. So for the nose part, I will be using my other brush, which I love. This one is for my contouring. This is the Kiko little brush. Like I said, this is a bit of a smaller version of the Primark that I have, but yes, this is also lovely to set under your eyes and stuff, but this is also very nice to smooth in your contour around your nose specifically. So I really am obsessed with this little guy. He is so perfect. I'm just gonna put a little bit more before I set it. I mean, complete it. And I'm just going to be taking the same angular brush, using the NYX Banana, and just going to apply a little bit along my nose and just across here, just to brighten the area even more. And then just underneath the cheekbone where I applied the bronzer. So you can see it's a complete difference already, and it just sort of emphasizes the right places. Sort of shows up more light now. And again, just on top of the cheekbone and along the nose. Now, to make this contour a little bit softer, what you also can do is go across it very gently, which I'm doing now, just to blend it in, and so that it doesn't look too harsh, because you also want it to be quite subtle. I mean, I'm fair skinned, so I don't want to end up looking too orangey or too tanned against my neck. So I just go in very gently over the whole of the contour. So that's like a key to know if you're olive skin or quite fair. You don't want it to look too obvious. Now that I've finished with the highlighting and the contouring, I'm going to go ahead and use one of my favorite palettes, which is the Sweet Cheeks. This one is from Primark. I absolutely am obsessed, and I'll be going in with the Lemon Sherbert. It smells so good. And I'm going to be using my fan brush, and I'll just be applying it along my cheekbone. And the same on the side. Just along my cheekbone in a downward motion. And then I'll be also applying it a little bit in the middle and a little bit on the side of my eyebrows. I'm just gonna blend that in between, because I want that intense golden look where the sun would usually hit on my face. So it would just give like a gentle shimmer, and a little bit on my chin, just to match the rest of the face. I'm going to be taking a smaller eyeshading brush, and I'm just going to be going ahead with the same eyeshadow that I've used in the inner corners of my eyes, which was from the Flawless palette, the white shadow, and I'm just going to be using that as a highlighter on my nose. So just like a little dot here, and then like a line, and then I just blend it in gently with my fingers. and then a little bit on my Cupid's bow. So before I go ahead and do anything else, I'm going to use my blush. This one is by Body Shop. This is my contouring palette, and I'll just be using this pink here. And I'll just be applying that very gently on top of my cheek where I put my contour. And the same on this side. I'm going to be using my lashes now, and they are from Primark. These are the ones called Sultry, and I usually cut them into shape and shorten them for my eye shape. So finally, this looks like the whole of this video has gone on forever. For my lip liner by Mina, of course, my favorite, and this one is the 502, and I'm just gonna line my lips. Slightly above my lip line, my natural lip line, and then I'm going to go ahead with my favorite nude shade right now is the Rimmel 43 by Kate, and I'm just going to be applying that all over. It has this beautiful nude peach color. That is a skill, isn't it? To talk and put your lipstick on at the same time. Woohoo! Lastly but foremost, my beautiful color Richie, which is Charm D'Or, and this one is 116 by L'Oreal. Apply that quickly onto the middle of my lip, on the Cupid's bow and the bottom bit, because that way it will highlight more of my lip. So I just go across like so, and you can already see there's more shimmer there, and a little bit in the bottom. So this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this video. As usual, please give it a thumbs up and a subscribe, and have a lovely summer, and I love you all, and bye bye.